Joseph
Friends,
Duggar's
we
in-laws
know
are
that
speaking
those who
out.
once get
Kendra Duggar's
involved with
parents,
the
Paul
Duggar
Caldwell
family
and
are
Christina
usually
Caldwell,
afraid to
spoke
open
out for
their
the first time
mouths.
since Joseph, who married
But
Kendra in
now,
2017,
I am completely
was
shocked
arrested
to
last
see what Kendra Duggar's own family did. Well, have you ever thought, after years of silence, what suddenly happened that Kendra's own family was finally forced to speak out? In today's video, I have brought you some shocking and inside information that might honestly make your hair stand on end. People close to Kendra's family have said things that may sound very careful on the surface, but the real truth hiding behind those words feels extremely disturbing. Are they secretly giving hints about something big enough to shake the entire Duggar empire? I've uncovered some exclusive points about this topic that nobody has talked about before. So don't skip this video, and make sure you watch until the very end, because once you hear the real secret behind this sudden decision, you'll be completely shocked. And friends, let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to leave a like for this explosive video. Now come on, let's uncover the real truth happening behind the scenes today. For years, people have seen Kendra Duggar and her parents, the Caldwells, as some of the closest allies within the Duggar family circle. They shared the same religious background, the same lifestyle values, and for a very long time, they appeared completely united. That's why even the smallest public statement from Kendra's family instantly grabs attention. The Caldwells are not known for public drama. They usually stay quiet, especially when it comes to family matters. But now, fans are paying close attention to every word they say, every line they avoid, and every small hint that something deeper may be happening behind the scenes. And honestly, I think that's what makes this situation feel more serious than a normal reality TV controversy. It's not loud. It's not explosive. It feels calm, restrained, emotional. And sometimes, that silence says more than words ever could. Kendra Duggar has always had a very specific public image. Soft-spoken, cheerful, family-oriented. Even among the Duggar daughters and daughters-in-law, she was often seen as one of the least controversial people connected to the family. Her relationship with Joseph Duggar was always presented as calm, stable, and deeply rooted in trust. And this image mattered a lot to viewers, because the Duggar family identity was built around unity and strong family values. Over the years, fans watched the families spend time together, attend events together, and publicly support one another. The Caldwells weren't distant relatives. They were deeply connected to the Duggar world. And that's exactly why this current tension feels so significant. According to public reaction online, many viewers started noticing that while the Duggar family faced intense public scrutiny, Kendra's side of the family seemed to create more distance. People began analyzing the social media silence, the family appearances, and the carefully worded comments more closely than ever before. Now, it's important to be clear here. A lot of online discussion about family relationships is based on observation and interpretation. Families themselves usually prefer to keep personal details private. So we should be careful not to treat assumptions like confirmed facts. But people can still analyze tone, public behavior, timing, and wording. And honestly, this is where things start getting interesting. The alleged statement from the Caldwell side, at least according to online viewers and commentators, sounded restrained and emotionally serious, rather than defensive or aggressive. Instead of jumping into public fights or trying to provoke more drama, the tone seemed focused on stress, anxiety, and privacy. And I think a lot of people noticed that immediately. Because during controversies, families often react in two ways. Either they aggressively defend themselves, or they pretend nothing is happening. But this situation felt different. It felt more like a family quietly trying to create emotional distance, without starting an open conflict. And why is that important? Because it suggests the situation may have reached a point where staying silent was no longer possible. When people who usually avoid public attention suddenly begin speaking carefully, viewers naturally assume there's serious pressure happening behind the scenes. What makes this entire situation even more complicated is Kendra's position in the middle of it all. She's not just a daughter. She's also a wife, and a mother. That means any tension between the Caldwells and the Duggars places her in a very emotionally difficult situation. And honestly, I think that's the part people sometimes forget once these stories become internet drama. Behind every headline, there are real relationships. Imagine trying to maintain peace between the family you grew up with and the family you married into, while millions of people online keep watching every move. That can't be easy, especially for someone who spent most of her adult life in a culture that strongly values loyalty, harmony, and family unity. And that's what makes this especially emotional. Kendra has always appeared very relationship-oriented. Her public image was never about rebellion or conflict. So if there truly is emotional distance between the families now, even quietly, it's probably very painful for her personally. Another important part of this story is the long history between the Caldwell and Duggar families. These weren't just casual acquaintances who slowly drifted apart. Their connection goes back many years, through church communities, shared beliefs, and eventually family ties through marriage. Viewers watched that bond grow stronger over time. The families celebrated important life moments together. They genuinely appeared extremely close. And that history makes any public separation feel even more emotional. Why does that matter? Because the closer two families seem publicly, the more noticeable even the smallest distance becomes. When viewers are used to seeing unity, even a subtle sign of discomfort suddenly feels meaningful. Some fans believe the Caldwells may simply be trying to protect their family image by speaking carefully and creating boundaries. Others believe the statement reflects genuine emotional exhaustion after years of controversy surrounding the Duggar name. And honestly, both possibilities could be true at the same time. One thing that's important to remember is that every family handles crisis differently. Some stay publicly united no matter what happens. Others quietly pull away to protect their children and emotional well-being. And when cameras, social media, and public opinion are involved, there really is no easy path. Especially in the world of reality television. Reality TV creates this strange situation where viewers feel emotionally connected to people they've never actually met. Fans notice changes quickly. They analyze body language, appearances, social media activity, even silence itself. And in the Duggar world, silence often becomes a statement all on its own. That's why the phrase, "deeply disturbed," hits so strongly with viewers. Beyond the dramatic wording, those words carry emotional weight. They communicate anxiety, frustration, and concern, without directly attacking anyone. And honestly, I think those words were chosen very carefully. They sound cautious, controlled, restrained. And sometimes restrained statements feel even more powerful than emotional outbursts, because they give the impression that every word was selected very carefully. Another important side of this situation is the impact on the children involved. Whenever families experience tension publicly, children often become the invisible emotional center of the story. Even if parents try their best to protect them, stress inside the family can still affect daily routines, emotions, and relationships. And that matters, because viewers sometimes get so caught up in controversy that they forget young children are growing up in the middle of all this attention. For Kendra especially, maintaining stability for her children behind the scenes may be one of her biggest priorities. And honestly, that may also explain why the communication has remained careful instead of explosive. Publicly attacking family members would likely create even more stress and attention. A restrained statement allows a family to express concern, while still trying to preserve some dignity and privacy. Now, public reaction to all of this has been very divided. Some viewers strongly sympathize with the Caldwell family. They believe creating distance may have been necessary because of the amount of controversy surrounding the Duggars in recent years. These viewers argue that protecting your immediate family sometimes requires difficult boundaries. Others feel sad seeing families that once looked so close now pulled apart by tension and public pressure. To them, this situation feels like another example of how reality TV fame can place enormous strain on personal relationships. And then there are viewers who remain skeptical of everyone involved, pointing out that outsiders rarely know the complete truth behind private family relationships. And honestly, that's probably fair. We only see small pieces. Public appearances, carefully written statements, online reactions. None of us truly know every private conversation happening behind closed doors. Still, public behavior shapes public opinion. And when families that once seemed inseparable suddenly become distant and quiet, people naturally notice. What makes this even more emotionally complicated is the cultural environment these families come from. In very traditional family structures, public unity is often considered extremely important. So even the smallest sign of disagreement can carry enormous emotional weight internally. And that's important to understand. Because in this kind of environment, creating public distance can feel far more serious than it might in other families. It can signal deep emotional stress that outsiders may never fully understand. I also think many viewers connect with this story because, in a strange way, it feels relatable despite the reality TV setting. A lot of people understand what it feels like to be caught between relatives during conflict. A lot of people know how emotionally exhausting family tension can become, especially when loyalties feel divided. And that human side of the story is probably why people continue paying attention long after headlines fade away. At the center of everything is still Kendra herself. And honestly, her position in all of this is probably the most emotionally difficult. Public pressure alone is already overwhelming. But feeling pulled emotionally between two families you love, that's undoubtedly stressful. Especially when every public appearance gets analyzed online. One thing viewers have consistently noticed over the years is that Kendra has never seemed like someone who enjoys public attention focused on herself. Now friends, how did you feel about this first story? Honestly, while watching all these Duggar family antics, I couldn't stop laughing at some moments. No matter how busy or exhausted I get during the day, whenever I sit down to make these videos for you guys, all that tiredness disappears. At that point, I don't even feel like just a video creator anymore. It feels like I'm creating a little piece of joy and entertainment for a group of close friends. And honestly, your comments and your support mean everything to me. Those little smiles from you guys, that's the biggest reward. So come on, friends, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into the next shocking Duggar family story together. Jill Duggar and Amy Duggar King. Relying on each other after Joseph's arrest. Amy Duggar King has reportedly become much closer to her cousin Jill Duggar Dillard, especially following Joseph Duggar's arrest. During a recent YouTube conversation with interviewer Dory Jackson, Amy explained that she and Jill, one of Joseph and Josh Duggar's sisters, have been texting constantly since Joseph's arrest in March over allegations involving a minor in Florida. Amy said, "We've definitely been texting each other all week, honestly, for weeks now. Like, are you okay? I love you." She also explained that their relationship used to stay more casual and lighthearted. According to Amy, "We always knew each other. We laughed together, we were cousins and everything, but we never really talked about deep issues, struggles, or trust." Now, she says they're working on building that trust more seriously. Amy added, "You know, we don't tell anyone the things we discuss privately. And honestly, that's what makes friendships and family relationships stronger, because family members rely on each other." Now, as many of you already know, Joseph was arrested over allegations involving inappropriate conduct with a minor. His arrest came nearly 5 years after his brother Josh Duggar was convicted in a child pornography case. Joseph and his wife Kendra are also reportedly facing separate allegations involving child endangerment and unlawful confinement in Arkansas. Both of them have pleaded not guilty to those charges.